The drama surrounding Caitlin Clark and the nuclear backlash now engulfing A'ja Wilson marks one of the most consequential turning points women's basketball has ever seen. This is not just another roster snub or social media feud. This is a full-scale power shift, and it is already reshaping legacies, careers, and the future direction of Team USA. For years, Wilson operated as if her place atop the league was permanent, unquestionable, and protected. She spoke, posted, and moved like someone who believed the spotlight belonged to her by default. And for a long time, the system reinforced that belief. But this week, reality arrived without mercy. Team USA did not hedge. They did not soften the blow. They did not hide behind vague language or future promises. They cut Wilson from the selection pool entirely, while simultaneously elevating Caitlin Clark into the senior national program for the 2026 World Cup and the 2028 Olympics. That single decision sent shockwaves through the league because it did what no media narrative ever dared to do. It stripped away reputation and evaluated substance. For 2 years, Wilson took aim at Clark with a mix of dismissiveness and resentment, convinced she could undermine the rise of the player who was rapidly becoming the face of the sport. She questioned Clark's impact, her legitimacy, and the attention she received. She liked posts that cast doubt. She framed Clark's success as hype rather than achievement. All the while, Clark kept playing, kept producing, and kept bringing millions of new eyes to the game. What Wilson never realized was that Team USA was watching everything. Not just the box scores, but the behavior. At the heart of this decision lies a truth the WNBA establishment rarely acknowledges publicly. Wilson's game, as dominant as it appears domestically, is built around a system that does not exist internationally. Her scoring relies heavily on whistles, rhythm interruptions, and officiating patterns that favor offensive initiation. In the WNBA, that works. In FIBA play, it collapses. International referees do not reward flailing, head snaps, or contact selling. They allow physical defense, continuous play, and real battles in the paint. When that environment replaces the one Wilson is accustomed to, her efficiency drops sharply. Team USA scouts saw this firsthand. They watched her international exhibitions and saw a player struggling to adjust when the free throws disappeared. They saw possession stall when calls did not come. They saw frustration creep in. Meanwhile, they watched Clark thrive in those same conditions. Her offense does not require permission. Her shots cannot be taken away by officiating philosophy. 30-foot pull-ups, step-back threes, off-balance finishes through contact. Clark creates her own margins. That is the difference. This was not about disrespecting Wilson's WNBA accomplishments. It was about recognizing that international basketball demands adaptability above all else. You cannot build an Olympic roster around players who need ideal conditions to succeed. You need players who can impose their game regardless of venue, whistle, or opponent. Clark does that instinctively. Wilson does not. When the roster news broke, the contrast between the two players became impossible to ignore. Clark responded quietly, professionally, and with gratitude. She acknowledged the opportunity and turned her focus to preparation. Wilson, by contrast, imploded. Sources close to the situation described days of anger, frantic calls, and disbelief. She demanded explanations. Her representatives scrambled for meetings that never materialized. When it became clear the decision was final, her camp leaked excuses about scheduling conflicts and voluntary breaks. No one bought it. That reaction sealed her fate even further. Team USA values composure under pressure. The ability to absorb disappointment without destabilizing the group. Wilson's meltdown confirmed every concern scouts already had about her emotional volatility and entitlement. If she could not handle exclusion with grace, how could she handle the weight of representing her country on the world's biggest stage? This decision was also about culture. For 2 years, Wilson positioned herself as a gatekeeper of women's basketball, acting as if Clark's rise was a threat rather than an opportunity. Instead of embracing the moment and helping grow the sport, she treated Clark's success as a personal affront. Team USA took note. They watched who celebrated progress and who resisted it. They saw Clark elevate teammates and deflect attention. They saw Wilson center herself at every turn. International competition is unforgiving. Locker rooms fracture quickly under ego. Coaches cannot afford distractions. They chose the player who brings unity, global appeal, and self-sufficient excellence. They chose the player who attracts fans across borders, cultures, and languages. Clark's shooting, creativity, and calm translate everywhere. Wilson's brand, built on domestic dominance and status, does not. The implications of this decision extend far beyond one player being left off a roster. It sends a message to the entire league. Talent matters. Adaptability matters. Character matters. You cannot tear down the sport's biggest star for years and expect to be rewarded with leadership roles when the stakes are highest. Wilson did not lose her spot because of one bad game. She lost it because she spent 2 years proving she was not built for this moment. As the evaluation camps approach, Clark stands on the verge of becoming the new global face of American women's basketball. Her chemistry with emerging stars, her professionalism, and her ability to perform under any conditions make her the ideal foundation for the next era. Wilson will be watching from the sidelines, forced to confront the consequences of her own choices. This was not a conspiracy. It was not politics. It was an audit. And the results were definitive. One player evolved with the game. The other tried to police it. One built the future. The other clung to the past. Now the question turns to you. Was Team USA right to move on from A'ja Wilson, or do you believe her exclusion went too far? Does Caitlin Clark represent the future of international basketball, or is this shift happening too quickly? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and if you want to stay ahead of every major development in women's basketball, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss what comes next.